All right. Maybe we'll get to a video at the end of class. We'll see. Okay, we're good. Recording. Nice. All right, bell ringer for today. Like I said, there's no current events this week just because tomorrow's our last day. I won't do that to anybody. So, bell ringer. We went over 2 causes yesterday. Remember, mania, right? WrestleMania. I'm just kidding. But mania. We just went over the N and the I yesterday just because that's kind of how it goes in order. So describe what nationalism and imperialism is. How are these 2 terms a cause to World War I? So how do these 2 causes work together in order to bring about this world conflict? There we go. What's up, buddy? Oh, what?
Yeah, wrestling.
Oh, yeah?
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Someone wasn't doing wrestling anymore. And you said, why don't you come to the ring with me?
You should, man.
I don't know about that.
You said you're a basketball player, though, right?
Yeah.
Shooting threes.
Yeah.
Chris Dimes, right? Is that what they call you?
Chris Dimes.
There you have it. Here we go. Nationalism, imperialism. Remember that graphic organizer, okay, that activity, that's going to be due tomorrow after we go over the last cause to World War I, which will be assassination, okay? So just hold on to that until tomorrow. We'll go over it, and once we're done going over it, turn it in, and I'll give you credit for it. And then you can use that as a study tool because that will probably be yet. We only did N and I. Yep. Only the N and the I. We're going to do M and one of the A's today. So we're getting there. Uh-oh, Penn State got Maryland. 2 is the little brother. Look out. Yeah, 2 of his little brothers doing all right at quarterback there. He just beat Minnesota. Minnesota's not bad.
Lost to Michigan.
Yeah, they did.
Michigan lost to Michigan State.
Yeah, what the heck? I was shocked by that.
Michigan State lost to Rutgers.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, trainer got on there.
Indiana whooped up on Rutgers, didn't they?
Yeah, it was close the first half.
Was it?
Yeah.
I have to let Aiden Weiss know about that.
Yeah.
Go Sporty, right? I should comment that on one assignment he has. Need more time? We good? Chris, you done?
Yep.
Cody, finished? Okay, here we go. Describe what nationalism and imperialism is. How are these 2 terms a cause to World War I? So let's start off with imperialism. We know this one a lot. We beat it up last chapter. Okay, this is the build up to what we know as World War I. And what is imperialism? Real quick. Rooster, go ahead since you missed out yesterday. What does imperialism mean? Yeah, good job. Good job. So imperialism, bigger, stronger country taking over a smaller territory or smaller country, mostly for resources, raw materials, right? Expand their sphere of influence, establish military bases, okay? And really that's the expansion of one country and really trying to build on their empire. Okay, Great Britain had a strong empire for hundreds of years, right? And Germany wanted to do the exact same thing, which we talked about with the Franco-Prussian War, that naval arms race, right? Okay. What about nationalism? What does that mean? Nationalism. That's a term we went over yesterday. What is nationalism? Chris, go ahead.
An idea of movement nation
Yeah, good job. So strong patriotism, right? Strong sense of national pride in your own country, right? You're all about it, right? Throwing the American flag around, America, screaming at the top of your lungs, shooting off a 12 gauge, whatever it might be. I'm just kidding. Yeah, so nationalism, okay, strong sense of national pride. And a lot of these countries in Europe, okay, America especially, what were they doing? How are they trying to promote national pride, nationalism with their own people, their citizens? What were they doing? What would they really put a lot of their resources and time into? What's that? Military. Yep, good job. Military. Okay, the Great White Fleet, right? Okay, we talked about that and how Teddy Roosevelt sailed across the world to show everybody the naval power that the United States has. Okay, there's a lot of marches. Okay, there's a lot of parades showing the American people, okay, citizens in other countries, the military equipment, supplies, technology, that the advancements of their country. Okay, you see it a lot with North Korea. They do it like almost every month, it seems. Okay, marches and their military marching down the road with a lot of the rockets that they have, things like that. And that's supposed to build a lot of national pride. If people feel safe, if people feel like they are protected, okay, and they show the advancements that their military has, it's going to show them obviously a little bit higher as a world power, and people are going to be prideful of it. All right, is there any questions over those two terms? So with nationalism, a lot of these countries are just focusing on themselves, right? They're not really reaching out to try to establish alliances or relationships with other countries. Okay, yes, we'll talk about the alliance system, but for the most part, they're just focusing on themselves, building up their own military, and competing against one another. Cody, you got that? Put your phone away, buddy. Okay, vocab terms. Here we go.
I still don't know. Wait, you said they competed against each other, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, militarism, and the alliance system. There we go. So militarism and the alliance system. These are two terms we're going to talk about today with the graphic organizer. Okay, so I'll put up slides and we'll go over that a little bit more in detail. You can fill that out. And then tomorrow, after we go over the assassination, those will be the 5 main causes to World War I. An easy way to remember it is what? What's that acronym?
Mania.
Mania. Yeah, good. WrestleMania. Just kidding. Bless you. Oh, Cody, you tired? Night shift at Pizza Delight. No? All right, here we go. Militarism. What does that mean? Militarism. Go ahead, Chris.
I believe the desire of a government of people maintain a strong military capability, have the capability of taking over countries or defending one country when needed.
Yeah, good job. So, plain terms, build up or glorification of one's military. All right, so the build up or glorification of a military. With Germany especially, right? Okay, largest land power, using a railroad system to transport troops and supplies at a fast, alarming rate. The second wave of the Industrial Revolution, creating all these new forms of weapons, technology. And a lot of German people had an extreme nationalism, national pride within their military. Okay, that's another cause. All these countries are trying to advance and build up their military in order to compete against one another. And especially in Europe, they're jam-packed right on top of each other. All these countries share a border, seems. Okay, and they're really close to each other, and they're building up their military to a point where they want to be the strongest world power. America, they're off across the Atlantic Ocean, but they're doing the same thing. Okay, they're building up their military to a point where they want to see themselves become that top world power. Right, and militarism, it could be land power, right? It could be their naval power, right? There's many different ways of becoming a strong military, and in order to try to be that dominant power, you need a strong navy and army, right? Okay, alliance system. What do we have? What is alliance system? What is the alliance system? We're going to talk about alliances today. We already mentioned one with the dual alliance. Okay, so make sure you remember that one. But what is the alliance system? Cody, what do you have for this one?
Countries join forces and work together for the truth of certain goal.
Yeah, good job. So alliance system is how these countries are grouping together and in order to achieve an objective, right? Okay, we talked yesterday about Germany and Austria, right? The dual alliance. Why would they want to form an alliance with each other? What's the reason for that? Why would Austria-Hungary and Germany want to have that alliance? Chris?
Because France and Russia surrounded Germany, so Germany well, exposed to that. And they wanted to make a relationship with Russia, Hungary, so they could defend relatively.
Yeah, good job. So number one, they share a border, right? They're right next to each other. Number two, they have a very similar culture. Okay, they speak almost the same language. Okay, they have the same customs. And number three is because of Russia and France, right? They sandwich them, they surround them. So it's to the point where they need a friend. They need an alliance with someone that can help them fight this two-front war if this had ever happened. Okay, so that's why that dual alliance happened between Germany and Austria-Hungary. And for Austria-Hungary, they thought, well, we can see the advancements that Germany has and apply it to our own military, right? Yeah. What about France and Great Britain? Why would they want to form an alliance? What's the point of that? Wonder why you think. What was the main reason why France and Great Britain formed their alliance? Because for hundreds of years, they hated each other. Yeah, good job. They found a common enemy with Germany, right? They saw Germany rising as this world power. They defeated France in that Franco-Prussian War. They had a strong land military. And now all of a sudden with this naval arms race, with Great Britain, obviously, Great Britain thought that they were a threat. So in order to try to keep Germany down and make sure that they can keep them at bay, these two powers formed an alliance, Great Britain and France. Good job. Is there any questions on that, guys? So sooner or later, when war happens, let's say war happens between France and Germany, what's the alliance system going to do with these other powers like Great Britain and Austria-Hungary? It's going to drag them into the fight, right? Okay, because they have alliances. All right, good. All right, moving on today. Militarism, alliance system. We're going to talk more in detail about that. So again, on the graphic organizer, you can fill out the M and the A. So the last thing we'll have to do is the bottom part, the A, after today. All right, so disputed territory. We talked about Alsace-Lorraine. Okay, that territory right at the border of Germany and France, and how that is crucial. Okay, how close is Alsace-Lorraine to Paris? Pretty close. So let's say Germany goes to war with France. All right, already they have territory. Germany already has territory pretty close to the capital city. And that's alarming to France. France needs to try to establish a sound relationship and alliance with Great Britain in case this war ever wages out, if Germany ever tries to invade and attack. Because let's face it, the capital's right there. It's so close. Okay. The next cause we have is militarism. Oh, the Hulkster, right? Yeah, militarism. And plain simple, guys, so fill out in your graphic organizer, the buildup and glorification of a country's military. So the buildup of a military. So we all know what would happen if the Hulkster took on Screech and Steve Urkel, right? Yeah, it'd be atomic leg drop, and that would be the end of it. 1, 2, 3, pin. It'd be over with. Okay, and that's what a lot of these countries were designed to do during this age of industrialism. Okay, when we're getting close to World War I, they're trying to build up their military. They're trying to become stronger. Okay, more powerful than the other countries that surround them. And we already talked about social Darwinism. Okay. And how this is survival of the fittest, how this theory of evolution, survival of the fittest, obviously is just placed on these countries in the world, especially these countries in Europe, okay? And how it shows these countries need to advance. They need to adapt to their surroundings. And in Europe, it was a hotbed. Constantly, these countries are going at it and competing with one another, and build up a military is needed. All right, so reasons for militarism. Make sure you guys remember this. Cody, you got this? Keep the imperialized in line. Okay, so once they're expanding past their territories, once they're looking to take over more land in other countries and other areas throughout the world, they need to make sure that it never gets taken over, that these indigenous people never try to overthrow their imperialized gains. Does that make sense, guys? All right, so as Great Britain, Germany, France are going to Africa, they need a strong military in order to try to protect those overseas territories. If not, they're not going to extract those resources. They're not going to make finalized goods. They won't be able to protect it from other countries that are looking to expand. All right, compete with other powerful nations. So expansion, right? Plain and simple, expansion. So as Great Britain claimed many territories throughout the world, like India, Australia, okay, Canada, right? We all know those areas that Great Britain controlled. Parts in Africa. Germany needed to do the same in order to try to keep up, in order to try to extract resources and stay up to date with what's going on in the world and compete with this Great Britain, this British Empire. Germany needed to do the same and expand, claim territories and extract resources. Because with these countries in Europe, they're not as big as, let's say, the United States or Russia, where resources are abundant, okay? They're limited to how many resources they have. So they need to expand. They need to look to overseas territories and claim resources that they can't find within their own borders, like America and sugar, right? Yeah. All right, protect assets around the empire. So sustainability. So protect your own borders. So not only territories and outside areas, overseas, right? We need to try to protect our borders. Okay, make sure that we don't get invaded. So it's essential to have a strong military. And with that, that builds up a lot of nationalism, right? Okay, a lot of people are going to see this strong military, these new advancements, and they want to try to have the same exact thing. All right, so with this militarism, this brings nationalism. This brings national pride in your own country. If we have the biggest, baddest military, the biggest guns, then this is going to build up a lot of national pride within your own country. I think it's pretty cool seeing those parades, right? Those military parades. Yeah. Soldiers marching, seeing what kind of weapons we have. Pretty neat. It's pretty neat. Or if you're driving on the highway, I'm sure everybody's seen that with the Humvees and those different types of armored equipment going down the highway, especially around Fort Indian Town Gap. Okay, it's pretty cool seeing those fly by. It's like, wow, look what we have here. Obviously, that's not all of it. It's just a small portion. All right, so military strength. Make sure you guys note this. Okay, there's going to be some statistics on the quiz or the test. So make sure you guys know this. The 5 largest armies, number of soldiers during peacetime, so before World War I, we have Russia at the top, 5.97 million. But remember, what was Russia? Were they a strong power? Were they industrial power at the start of World War I? No, not at all. They're falling behind. And who did they lose a war to in the early 1900s? Right before World War I. You guys remember? Haley, do you remember? Japan. Yep, good job. They lost the war to Japan. And what is Japan? A what? Where are they located? Asia, right? Okay, so what did many people in Europe think of these Asian countries? I can't hear you. Yeah, they're weaker, right? Okay, they're not as strong. They're not as powerful. Okay, that's social Darwinism. Remember, okay, and this idea that the white is more dominant. This was really happening in the early 1900s. Okay, and this Aryan race mentality. They thought, well, they lost to an Asian country. That's pitiful. That's pathetic. That should never happen. A European country should never lose a war to an Asian country. And with Russia, they're kind of embarrassed. And they didn't go through industrialization. We won't see that until we get to the 1930s when Stalin comes in charge, which we'll get to, we'll talk about. Kevin, you got that? All right, cool. Germany, we already know, has a strong military. They're building up their military since the beginning of the Franco-Prussian War, okay, and really expanding to a point where they could mobilize troops and soldiers at a fast rate. They had the best technology and weaponry, and they're a force to be reckoned with. France, who lost a war with Germany, which we already know at the Franco-Prussian War, they're next. They're close, and it just shows how Germany is really far advanced than these other countries when it comes to manpower, weaponry, technology, you name it. They're just far superior than everybody else at this time. And Austria-Hungary, who are they allied with? Who do they have an alliance with? Chris? Germany. Yeah, look at that. They're right in the top 4. That's pretty crazy. So that's really alarming to France and Great Britain, right? And Russia. A lot of these countries are seeing this alliance with Germany and Austria-Hungary, and they're afraid. They're fearful of what could happen. And then Italy, they're right there at the bottom, okay? Obviously, the United States is working their way up, okay? They're just not there yet. And Great Britain, we know they're mostly focused on their Navy. So as a land power, not so much. Not so much. You got that, Cody? Angel, you good? Okay. And then the 2 largest navies, which was the next branch of the military that was really focused on when we get to World War I, was the Navy, right? So Great Britain and Germany. And we know that Great Britain tried to stay double the amount of the next 2 powers, which the next 2 powers was Germany and the United States. So try to stay advanced, try to stay double the amount of these next 2 powers. You guys good with that? One more minute? Okay. And with the Navy, what was that new battleship that everybody was trying to instill in their Navy? What is that called? Do you remember?
Dreadnought.
Dreadnought, right? Yeah, good job. And then Germany, the U-boats, right? Okay, good job. Good job. Good, Haley? All right. So dreadnoughts, we already talked about that before. That's what a lot of these countries are establishing within their military and their Navy. These dreadnoughts, these new types of battleships, U-boats, okay? And then finally, last slide here, the alliance system. Make sure you guys remember these alliances here on the sides. But the alliance system is really just how all these countries are paranoid of what might happen. These countries that share a border, like Germany and France, okay, that's easy for someone to invade, right? That's easy for someone to maybe launch an attack. So it's important that these countries try to ally with each other, try to set up an alliance in order to try to protect their own borders. And we know at the end of the Franco-Prussian War, Germany and Austria, that dual alliance, make sure you remember that dual alliance was very important. In order to try to combat against that dual alliance, I'll write down the board here so it's important that you remember. So dual alliance, Germany and Austria-Hungary. Remember, that's at the That's right before World War I happens. That's right at the end of the Franco-Prussian War. Okay? And then that will later expand once Italy gets involved with a stronger military, once they start really becoming a unified country like Germany was. That will later turn into the Triple Alliance. So the Dual Alliance changes to the Triple Alliance. Makes sense, right? Because they're adding one more. So we have Germany. To it, Italy won't stay on that side for too long. They'll later jump ship. Okay, they'll later jump ship. And to try to combat against this Triple Alliance, we have the Triple Entente. Okay, so France and Great Britain, we knew that they're allied together, right? That naval arms race, Franco-Prussian War, we knew that those two countries were trying to form an alliance because they saw what Germany was becoming. They saw the alliance between Austria and Hungary. In order to try to combat against that, they decided to bring Russia in. Now, why do you think France and Great Britain would want to have Russia on their side? Russia seemed like they're far behind, right? They didn't industrialize yet. They didn't have a strong military. Yes, they had large numbers, but for the most part, they weren't a superior military when it comes to weapons and technology. So why do you think they would want to reach out to Russia? Chris?
And they would have them surrounded there.
Yeah, plain and simple, right? Plain and simple. So they'd have them surrounded right from the beginning, okay? Right from the beginning. So France and Great Britain thought, well, we can have an advantage already if we just bring Russia on our side. If we have Russia in this alliance, then this would split up the forces. This would create a two-front war for Germany, Austria, and Hungary. They'll have to split forces to fight Russia here in the east, and they'll have to split forces to fight France and Great Britain in the west. Does that make sense? You got that, Cody? You got that, Hunter? All right, good, good. All right, so take note, guys. This is at the start of the war. Triple Alliance here and the Triple Entente. Okay, Triple Alliance, Austria, Hungary, Germany, Italy. Triple Entente, France, Great Britain, and Russia. This will later change when we talk about the Central Powers and the Allied Powers. So just looking at the map, who do you think the Central Powers will be? It's not a trick question.
Germany, Austria, Hungary, Italy.
Yeah, why? Why are they called Central Powers? They're right in the middle, right? In Central Europe. Good job. Good job. All right, so we'll talk about that a little bit later when we get closer towards World War I starting. So don't focus on that just yet, but at the start of the war, we have the Triple Alliance, the Triple Entente. All right, any questions on that? Haley, what's up?
Which A does the alliance symbol?
You can fill that in for the first day. Then the last day, you know, the last day of Mania, we can save that for assassination. Okay, that'll be the last one for tomorrow. So right now we should have the M, the A, the N, and the I. Cody, you got that. You didn't have your iPad open, so I hope you do. All right, so M, A, N, and I. Okay, we only need one more A yet. That's what we'll talk about tomorrow. All right, we good? All right, sounds good. All right, so let me get to this here. Just want to show you one picture real quick. Don't worry, you don't have to analyze or anything. It's just we'll go over it together. This just really shows the alliance system working together. Let me find it. I can get it. Where is it now? Find this thing. Alliance system. All right, yeah. Let's look it up. What's up?
We're done for that. That.
Yeah, I just want to bring up the picture real quick. we'll just analyze it together. I'll have a cool story for you at the start of class tomorrow that kind of builds this thing together. There it is. All right, tomorrow we'll talk about more in detail, obviously, when I get involved. But this picture is going to be, this goes along well with the one, it's called a barroom fight scene. All right, so we can relate how all these powers get involved in World War I to a barroom fight. It's pretty interesting. I think you guys will like it. But just kind of keep this picture in mind for tomorrow as we talk about Serbia, Austria, Russia, Germany, France, Great Britain. You can see them all coming together and all being drawn together to fight. And it's interesting how all these alliance systems, all these alliances drag these powers into this war. And really, that's how they call it a world war. Okay, that's how all these countries get involved. But again, I'll share that activity tomorrow. I think it's interesting. I think you'll enjoy it a lot. And how we can relate the alliance system, this war, and how all these powers get involved to a barroom fight scene. It's pretty cool. All right, is there any questions, guys? You good? All right. So right now we have Maine down. All we need is one more A for mania.